Hello, I'm Executive Chef Joseph Schutze. Welcome to our kitchen. Today I'd like to show you a fun way to use up chicken breast. We're going to make a chicken and roasted vegetable terrine. Join me now and we'll see how it's done. The first thing that we want to do is clean our chicken breast. So it's very simple to do. Just kind of take some of the fat and just run your fingers across the breast, and then take your knife and just trim that out. Here a little bit. Some of these pieces, sometimes you'll feel a piece of the breastbone in there, or part of the collarbone, which you call it the wishbone. Sometimes you'll see some of that into the backside where the ribs would be. So we're gonna clean these out real quick. The next step after cleaning the chicken is to get the chicken into flat pieces and consistent thicknesses. As you can see, the breast is a lot thicker on the one side and then tapers off. So I'm going to show you two different ways you could do this. Whichever way you're more comfortable, feel free to do it. First one is I will take my knife and I'm going to start with the thicker side, and I'm going to cut down through the breast following a straight line and trying to make it the same thickness all the way through. Like that. And this one, we just got in there. You'll still have that little thin piece there, but that's not to worry. This is one way to do it. Another way is to butterfly it and pound it with a meat mallet. So as you can see, I have already lined my countertop with plastic wrap. What a little trick to do is sprinkle a little bit of water on it, pour your plastic wrap over it, and it will adhere to the top. So on this one, what we're going to do is we're going to butterfly it. So taking the edge of your knife and just slowly sawing through this until you peel it back. So as you start opening it, go ahead and open it up. Now we have it as one uniform thickness. Repeat that with the others. When it comes to the larger breasts, I like to cut it rather than butterfly and hit it with a mallet, simply because the pieces are so large. It's just faster and easier to get us, this thickness. Now, if I want to pound it from here, so be it. If we're to do, like a schnitzel or breaded chicken. So now I have two pieces here, and I'll do the last one here. There we go. Now, the reason I got the plastic wrap down is I'm going to pound all these at the same time. Rather than working one piece of chicken at a time, it takes forever. Doing a larger batch like this, I work all the three pieces out, we'll pound them all at the same time, we'll be done in minutes. And this is the smallest one, and this one we're just gonna pound. Next, let us space these out a little bit. We then take another sheet of plastic wrap over top of the chicken. And then on your mallet, you have the coarse edge, you have a finer edge, and then the smooth sides. On the bigger pieces like this, it's not bad to use the bigger one just to kind of tenderize it a little bit before you get into the finer or even the smooth. Do it in stages, that way you slowly work your way into moving it. Many times on the chicken, smaller, easier pieces like this one, I will just use the flat and go. You start with the fatter end, thicker end, and then just gently pound it into uniformity. And that's all there is to it. So now we will season it with salt and a little of my homemade herb rub. Essentially, it's my take on a Italian rub or a Mediterranean rub. Dried parsley, basil, sage, thyme, marjoram, granulated onion, granulated garlic. Now that we have everything seasoned, we're ready for assembly. As you can see, the squash and zucchini were shaved or sliced in a mandolin and grilled. Roasted red peppers just over the open flame, grilled the onions as well, and we have our roasted mushrooms. So what I like to do first is line your bread pan with some bacon. What's nice to do is pull the bacon maybe 10 or 15 minutes before you're going to start assembling. Because when the bacon's a little warmer, it actually stretches a little better for you, so it allows you to work a little better. We're going to slightly overlap them. It's down firmly into the corners. Then I'd like to start with some yellow squash. Gonna lay one row, slightly overlap if you have to, that's fine. Take a small piece. And then we'll take the chicken breast. So what I like to do is, I'll cut a little bit here. And have that straight edge and press that to the corner. Okay, now that we've got that, let's go with zucchini. Feel free to work in any way you want with, you know, what vegetables to use as well as in which order. You know, it's doesn't really matter much. I just try to balance colors is really all I try to do with them. Then let's go red pepper. Then we'll go with chicken breast again. dressing down in there. Next, I will go with mushrooms. The onions. And then a little mozzarella cheese. Kind of help pull that together a little bit. Then wrap it up. Okay, and there we have it. Well, now we're ready for the oven. 350 degrees, take about an hour or so. At that point, go ahead and take a thermometer, digital thermometer, and put it deep inside of it. And you want to check for the chicken to make certain that the chicken is cooked all the way. And there you have the assembly. Well, here we are. After 1 hour at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, we have our terrine. So first thing we're going to do when it comes from the oven is you want it to rest for about 15-20 minutes. Next thing, I have a little bowl here. What I'm going to do is drain the excess liquid off. So carefully dump some of this off. Now this is all chicken jus. This can be made into the sauce for this, or you could just use it for chicken soup or stock. So now what we'll do is gently turn it out. Now I have my cutting board set up on a half sheet pan. That way any of this excess liquid will drain off into the sheet pan rather than all over the countertop or on the floor. And so here we are now ready for slicing. I kind of go about 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick on these. Get a nice hearty piece. And here you have your inside. And I recommend using a serrated knife for this, as it will cut much better than a normal chef's knife. And there we have our terrine. Lots of nice colors in it. So this piece here, well, I had some left over. Didn't want to waste it, and since I'd already touched the product with the chicken, so raw chicken, so it's contaminated essentially, I figure why not, let's just throw one together. So the same thing here, I'll probably slice this a little more on a bias and cut these into about 1/2 inch medallions. And this, when I did these, just simply laid the bacon down, had the breast on top of it. And when I laid the vegetables down, I had the chicken breast running this way. So I had the bacon going perpendicular and all the vegetables I had rolling this way. That way when I rolled it, it kept everything in a nice bundle. Had I gone parallel with the chicken breast and then rolled it, it would have looked more like a pinwheel. Well, here we have our chicken terrine. And the sauce I did here, as I mentioned before, is a mustard and tarragon vinaigrette. Very light, very flavorful, and it pairs very well with this dish simply because the chicken and the vegetables, it's a light dish. It's not going to weigh you down, and the vinaigrette goes great with it. A few edible flowers on there just for some more color. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration, and the recipes for everything will be below. Feel free to add some comments, questions, requests. Thanks again. Yo et vayat.